Hey all, 118 Set Shadow here. As we continue with set 5 and the first anniversary campaign for this set, we're starting to see some of the tokens from set 5 with the first anniversary stamps start to pop up on TCG Player. Not all of them yet, but we are seeing a few, such as the Fairy Wisp right here, which is starting off with a $10 price tag right now. Nobody's bought this one yet, with 3 copies on the market of this one listing. As we continue, we'll see more of these pop-ups, so we'll definitely see some decreases in prices as we go along here. Next is going to be Israfil from set 4. So this one has been on a kind of up and down trend, but we're starting to get close, starting to find our way underneath $20 when it comes to listings on this card. The last one sold for $17.76, and then we have a few copies available around the $17-18 mark. They still have a lot of them around $20 at this point, but as we move into the format for set 5, it's not as likely we're going to be seeing as much play of this card, so I would imagine that it will also end up with a bunch more copies and it'll keep going down. Can't say the same for Humpty Dumpty's Evo, though, given that Egghaven is still going to be one of the biggest decks of set 5 to play right now, and there are only 8 listings available on this silver, which is also the only rarity that's available right now. At this point, this card is selling for, let's see, we got 99 cents for the last few sales, 69 and 50 cents. Right now, available listings are at 50 cents. But there are not that many copies available, and they consolidate around a 75-cent listing, but it also has a $5 shipping tag. So the other thing, though, is that players who have already been picking up Eggburn Haven already have the deck, so this is also in tune to why we've been seeing decreases in Alice's price, where those who are playing other Fairy Tale decks are really just offloading because they don't really want to play Fairy Tale anymore and are moving on with their crafts. Whereas Haven players already have their Alices, so. But then it's interesting to see Humpty Dumpty get bought out like this, probably just for other types of tech and thoughts that players have for other crafts too. The Super Legendary of Snow White is still holding at $30 for its base listing right now. However, this card has not been seeing any sales as of late. The market price is currently $13.53, and the last time it sold was the beginning of May for $32. Right now, as said, it's still at $30 base right now, and the highest listings are currently at $35. And given that Burn Egghaven is still going to be a prominent deck, those of you who want to max it out at this point will be paying a pretty penny for it. However, probably better just to hold off, given that another format, and eventually, while the deck is still going to be somewhat viable, it will probably fall off a little further in favor of Kuon. Swordsman has also been dropping in value. This has been one of the silvers from set 1 that saw a big spike over time and ended up becoming a $2 card. Now it's back to about $1 to pick up and 40 listings at this point. When we look at available listings and where it's consolidated at, it is consolidated at $1. And when it comes to the first several listings that are on the first page, yeah, it's basically $1 or a little bit higher, but definitely a whole lot cheaper than it used to be. Sword Rush is still a thing, and Usurpation Sword is also a thing, which could still play this card as an option. Execution has continued to fall over time, and now the original silver is back down to the $1 range, with 59 listings available, while the promo that you got as a winning promo from shop tournaments is currently sitting at a base of $5 with 26 listings. But Execution is seeing less and less play as we move on, and as we continue to see new types of removal that keep on appearing with the different crafts. So no surprise that we're seeing a lot more of that. Bahamut is still cheap to pick up and has 34 listings right now. The base form at this point sells for $1 to $2, and yeah, overall it's a $2 card to pick up when you look at consolidation of near mints, and even the first lightly played that we see here only has one copy anyway. So it's actually more of a $2 card than a $1 card, so its market price has actually been increasing as of late. Still cheap overall, but yeah, just keep in mind, it is rising a little bit. Dragon Oracle, which still only comes out of the Dragoncraft starter deck, has been seeing a bit more of a rebound lately. It's been on a dip and saw more listings closer to $5 and $6 for some time, but it's still selling at $6 and even $7. And right now, when it comes to where it's consolidated at, it's actually $8. We do have listings that have 2 to 3 copies at just under $7.50. But the fact is, as long as Dragon Oracle remains exclusive to the starter deck, that's going to be rough on Dragoncraft players who want to pick this up later. If we take a look at the cost of the starter deck on TCG Player right now, the base listings are now $30, and there are only 4 listings available to pick up. The market price is now $25, and these MSRP, I think, are $20, which is fair. At $20, you do have to consider that you get 3 copies of basically every single card that you need out of the deck, with a few that only give you 2 copies. But usually, they'll give you 3 copies of the exclusives and whatever else you really need to pick up. They went down even further to $15 to $10 for a few of these, but it looks like they're on their way back up. Acolyte's Light, which is an exclusive for the Havencraft starter deck, is now sold out again, and the last few sales on this one were $4.50, almost $5. There were some that actually sold for $5 and above too. And so this one is a pretty good generic for Havencraft to utilize. It is one of the ones that's getting reprinted as part of the Glory Finder set, but again, you would only get 1 copy in there, and a Glory Finder set is likely going to run you at least $100 for the 4 deck sets. So picking up a play set of this, if we take a look at the cost of the deck right now, it's only a little bit more expensive at a base of almost $18, and there's still Pinion Prayer and the fact that you'll also get the leader card as well. So at this point, it's probably better to pick up the starter deck if you want more Acolyte Lights. This was a surprise that I didn't foresee this at this point. Angelic Snipe has increased in value for its alternate art promo. And right now there are only 2 listings of this on the market starting at $9.89, and they have been selling quite heavily over the last few days, from $5 all the way to $7 all the way to $10. I mean, I was certain that this would end up seeing some kind of a buff at some point, but given the overall downtrend of the market, I wasn't expecting it to happen here. In terms of availability right now, there is still 1 listing at $9.89 with 10 copies. After that, it's an $18 card to pick up. But there should be a good amount of these given how many that just sold. So it's really just a matter of if this is another concentrated buyout like what we saw with set 2, I don't think it's going to hold for very long. But Angelic Snipe is a pretty decent generic to play, even in future formats. Going a bit more into set 5, we've got Octress, Omen of Usurpation, which I feel is one of the biggest legendaries, if not the biggest legendary, to pick up in set 5 right now. 12 listings right now on the regular base of the legendary, so $6.70 on that one, and the market price is just over $6. If you want the Evo, it's just under $3 to pick up right now, and then $3.05 is the market price there. Nobody has bought the Super... I was pointing this out last time too. The Super Legendary has a price of $21.78 for the base, and then 11 listings on that, but nobody has bought it yet, which is interesting. As for the Evolved form, that one is sold with a market price of $10.90, and currently has a low of $9.75. And then you have the Evolved Ultimate Rare as well, which is already sold for 110 market price, and then 98.95 is the current base listing on that one. Apostle of Craving, which is one of the support cards for our new Omen of Craving, is one you'll want to look out for as well, especially given that this is a gold with an Evo. The Evo right now is 245, and as I've said historically, when it comes to gold Evos, any good ones hold their price and go up over time. When it comes to the foils, it's $4 to almost $6 to pick those up, but the regular gold base is still 74 cents to start off with and a market price of $1, so still not bad to pick up, but I feel like the Craving Omen is still a good one to play in most decks, so it's definitely good to have the whole package. And our last card for today is the leader card for Cerberus. On the initial market watch, this was selling for around the $150 range, and all of those listings have already sold out, leaving us with only 362 and more for the listings that are still available on the market. Yeah, not sure what really happened there, but yeah, Cerberus got really expensive, and if you want it, it's probably best to wait on this one. I seriously don't think it can hold for this long, but we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.